What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel, man. Today I'm trying to wrap up the wrapping with my EF sedan with the last two pieces that we have, both left and right side quarter panel. If you guys saw the last video, we wrapped both rear doors along with the filler pieces that sit underneath the taillight between the bumper. And if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, link is always in the description below. I go live stream on there every weekend, both days usually, if not one of the 2 days. And last night I was on live stream with you guys and I wrapped the gas cap with y'all live, and this thing right here came out freaking awesome. We wrapped it all the way through, and then we looped it one more time on the inside edge here and trimmed it nice and clean. So this thing is ready to go on, but we're gonna leave it off because we want this out of the way of wrapping the quarter panel, so that way we can get in between the jambs where this would normally sit. I mentioned in the last video that I wasn't sure what I wanted to do as far as the windshield goes. This thing is super cracked, so it has to be swapped out anyways. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to wrap the quarter to the pillar to the factory molding, because sometimes they can't reuse this, so they have to use an aftermarket one, which is like this one over here. Sometimes it's smaller, sometimes it's wider, and I don't want to wrap it to this and then it ends up being smaller to where there's going to be a gap between the vinyl and the new molding. So I was debating on pulling it off, but you know, that's $100. Got to call my window guy, which probably isn't going to be today because he's by appointment. And I'm trying to make some progress today. But this morning I did tinker with the molding to see if this was easy to flip over, and it turns out that it is. And not only that, the molding itself only goes over the pillar probably 1/4 of an inch, so it's not even that far out. And I'm sure that the new molding wouldn't be too sunk in if I was to change it out later down the road. So if I just, you know, run this through as I'm wrapping the pillar and lay the vinyl in there in between as I'm moving down, I think we'd be able to do so. It does need a good cleaning though, I will say that. And I think what I'm going to do today, or at least attempt to do today, is one side to see if I can wrap the vinyl in between the OE molding. Now on top of this one, I'm still debating if I want to pop this roof stripping off right here, because I also mentioned that if you break the clips, this thing is going to give you a hard time to go back on, and I don't know if I want to open that can, but honestly I might just pop it off. It doesn't need anything crazy. I'm just going to go ahead and pry this up. I'm not sure if this is a 1-piece or a 3-piece, but it doesn't come off like the EG and, you know, DCs and stuff. Huh. I can actually just fold it in. Huh. Okay. That is interesting. Okay, let me try that first. Somebody's gonna comment down below, Hush Performance sells moldings and stuff for CRXs and hatches. I don't know if they fit sedans. I already know about it, bought it before. We actually used it on Leo's car. Okay, so it turns out I can just flip the freaking molding in, make sanding easier and less headache for my brain trying to figure out how we're going to wrap around this. I mean, I really wish that they could try to reuse the OE molding. I'm going to ask my glass guy to see if he can or not. I'm sure if it's in good condition, he probably could. So I'm hoping that what I'm doing right now is not going to damage the material, because it's not meant to be folded in like this. But I'm just trying to work smarter, not harder. Technically the smarter way would be just to pop the windshield off, because it needs replacing anyways. But the thing is, with the shortages of windshield for EF these days, I don't know when I'll get one. So I'd rather have a cracked window intact in case I need to drive it around or whatever. There we go. And then we'll change it when I can secure a windshield. gonna be a little tricky when I wrap the pillar because I gotta go around the antenna, and the only way to pull this off entirely is to disconnect it from the radio and pull this entire thing out, which is going to be a pain to try to snake it back in because the cable is stupid long and it goes in between the frame here. So that's going to be a little tricky. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the other side real quick, and then we'll figure this little strip out right here. So I was taking a look at this molding right here, and it was already kind of like flopping off, and I'm looking in between here. This has the same clip and stuff like the EG front moldings, and I mean, I've never seen it before, so I don't know if it's broken or if it's missing any pieces. It looks like it's just gonna slip right on out of here some way, somehow. I mean, it looks like it's still attached down low, but I don't know how it's attached. What are these? Whatever these clips are. I don't know if they're broken, because I don't know how it looks when it's not. I don't know if that broke or if it just unclipped, but I heard that. Okay, there's nothing back here, so kind of curious about that. So I just went around the entire car, cleaned up all the jams between the doors, the bottom wheel well here, all the way to the front, all the way across to the front pillar. Got it all nice and wiped down, nice and clean, nice and smooth, because there were some chips on the edges that I had to clean up on the passenger side. So I got to take off the screws to the bumper so we can bring it down to clean underneath here. Right now I'm going to take off the tail light so I can clean in between all the jams, and in here as well too. On this side right here, I had to sand off some body filler that was here, and it is in high build primer right now. It's already dry. Probably gonna do a wet sand before I wrap this side. I might actually want to do this side first, only because we don't have the antenna to worry about. So I was lounging around trying to debate on what to do with this gutter trim, and I just went ahead and popped it off. I took my little trim tool, popped it off in the end here, and then it actually unclipped from the clip I was talking about right here that you don't want to break. So once this little tab right here breaks, it doesn't clip into the trim anymore, and then the trim starts flopping up and down. There's only two of this. There's one here, and then there's one all the way in the front. In between, there's this little like rubber piece that is kind of like a spacer to keep the trim from like going in, keeps it consistent, even length as far as height goes across the entire gutter. So I popped it off without bending it too much. You can always bend it back so slightly, but I do have all these little rubbers to ensure that I put them back in when I reinstall it. But other than that, they just clip here at the end. You can slide it off, but it was kind of hard to slide it forward or backwards, so I had to just pop one end off, and then I slid it off the gutter. So I'm gonna do the other side, and then I'm gonna prep the gutter itself, and then we're gonna wrap. Okay, so I've been kind of hesitant with wrapping the quarter panel because one, it's starting to get a little chilly. Two, it's a little windy all of a sudden, and the pollen's in the sky, and I'm not sure if the temperature is right to do this, but we're committed. So I've already kind of laid out the vinyl to ensure that we have enough material to cover all of the paneling of the vehicle. And I literally just learned today. I posted the video, my first video of wrapping, and I've been reading the comments. A lot of it was coming through my phone, and I learned the term glassing. Glassing is, I guess I've been saying it, I just haven't been using the term as glassing. It's laying down the vinyl before running it through on the panel. So glassing means peeling the backing paper off and then stretching it all into place before actually laying it down. So I think I'm going to start in this back half right here, and then I'm going to glass this whole section first, and then we'll work our way up into the pillar. So my mom came home from Costco and she wanted to mow the lawn, so we did just that. I was literally midway wrapping this car and I stopped what I was doing to mow the lawn. Literally, I was mowing into the dark and I had this on top of the lawnmower to cut all the way near the creek over there. But we got it all done. Got all the edges trimmed up as well too, so that's looking nice and sharp. But as I was continuing with the wrap on this car, 100% do not do it in the cold. This thing literally gets freaking hard, and if you try to handle it without any type of heat, it will 100% start ripping. And I kind of did it in a few spots, but just kind of the overhang right here, so I'm not worried about it. I was able to heat it up and it did get soft, and you are able to stretch it once you put some heat into it. So I was able to edge the entire trunk area all the way down to the tail light area, underneath the bumper, underneath the wheel well, all the way across inside the door jambs. You can't even tell the two colors, man. It's crazy. But I did all the way in the door jamb. I got to do the front half and the roof section here back to the window, and I'll be done with this side. I was able to get the vinyl underneath the molding here, and it is wrapped all the way across, and I still haven't pulled the molding back out yet, which then should overlap probably 1/4 inch onto the vinyl, which then should protect it from peeling out. This one right here should be pretty easy to do. Just heat it over, wrap it over, and then just cut straight through with the razor blade. And you know, when we're done with the roof, we'll put the trim back on. On the driver's side, I did put wrap right here, some excess wrap that I cut off, and I wanted to make sure that this body work was going to look as straight, and it's pretty straight. So with the vinyl on, I don't see any waves or any imperfections, so this is Gucci taters. And the last thing we need to do here is the driver's side. I think I know what I'm going to do as far as the antenna goes. Lay the vinyl down around it and then kind of mark it out, cut it beforehand, lay the vinyl over the antenna, and then just kind of work that area and then all the way down. So I'm stoked. This is the last vinyl cutout that I have that needs to go on. Let's get it done. This is a cutoff from the excess on the roof, and I'm just gonna use it to fill in this bottom rocker. So we don't have any more sunlight with the overcast and everything here. This indicates it might be raining soon. I don't know, I need to check the forecast. But guys, we just laid down the last vinyl wrap, which is this little bottom rocker right here. But the big last cutout we did was for the driver's side quarter panel up into the pillar. I just finished pulling the trim out right here to cover up the vinyl, and I'm actually pretty stoked about this because I don't have to take off the trim, and I didn't have to take off the windshield, although both of that's going to come off later. I just don't know when later is, right? But I'm very happy because this side looking sharp all the way to the back quarter panel here in the daylight, because I finished it in the middle of the night last night, and I'm actually pretty stoked about it. I came out this morning, there was an air bubble here and somewhere here, but I was able to put some heat in it, squeegee it out, looking nice and sharp. And the driver's side, this side actually looks so much better than that side. And the reason why I say that is because this side, for some reason, the squeegee kind of like left some scratches or line marks right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Like, it doesn't come off. That's from the squeegee. I don't know why, but my kit came with 2 squeegees, so I took the new one, did this side, and this side looking good. I'm actually loving this side a lot. And I was able to glass it out all the way across. I stopped it right here because I had to figure out how to tackle this guy, but we got that done. So glass it out, started from the center, down, back, up, and then I pretty much peeled the rest of it out. after marking out where the antenna would be. So I laid it all the way to the front. I marked out where it would have been, and then I cut little slashes into it, and then I ran the vinyl through the antenna, peeled the rest of the backing paper off, then started applying pressure to the vinyl. And I will say though, I did tear it right there in the back. Right there, you see that little line? I tore it in the back. But other than that, the rest of the area came out okay. I did tear it a few times right here because while I was taking care of this was getting cold. I started handling it, started tearing it. And once I apply heat, I was able to get it all kind of into the crevices I needed to go. So the antenna actually covers all of those imperfections. And the antenna itself actually has a rubber grommet that sits before getting secured down. This right here, and it actually sticks out even more, right? There's a little rubber right here, and that's going to cover all the imperfection on the edges. So all these, you know, cut pieces and stuff are not going to be shown once this is secured. I'll show it to you guys. But down the pillar all the way to the front, the trim right here nice and clean, the corners nice and sharp, the jambs itself on the driver's side door looking sharp, other than a little wrinkle, but not a big deal. Cut and trimmed. Rear door, same thing, nice and trimmed, looking sharp. You guys can't really tell where the color transitions at. I've said the thing 1,000 times now, but dude, it's just crazy how much this color matches the actual color of the car. Although this car has been resprayed, but regardless, the jam, the factory color in the jam, really close match to the wrap. Look at that, that's just crazy. So I got this bottom done as well too. Gas cap, underneath gas cap, we got that nice and wrapped around the jams, and bottom between the bumper, I did secure the bumper back on, and it's all nice and cut. It's wrapped, the bottom side is wrapped like probably 1 inch going in, so that way when you look straight in, it's the newer wrap color instead of the faded old color. The rear filler installed, looking sharp. Tail lights put back on. I didn't polish the lights. I'm going to do that at a later time. Right now I don't need to do it, but tail lights are back on. And dude, this thing is looking, I can't wait to see this car entirely wrapped. Although we still don't have the trunk or the roof. I did get tracking number on the wrap that I ordered. That's a very close color to this one. Should be here in a couple of days, and we'll measure that out, cut it out, and then we'll wrap the trunk and the roof. The color that I chose, like I said, is very similar from a company that I emailed in hopes of like partnership, and they are actually reviewing the application right now. And if they bring me on board, the color that I bought, which didn't cost much because it's a small section, is the color that I'm actually going to be using from them. So if I end up getting the new color from them, the roof and the trunk is already wrapped in that color. So aside from that, I'm not really worried about the roof and the trunk, because the side profile and the front profile, dude, just look at it. Just look at it. Somebody come look at this. Somebody come look at this. So fire. Man, it's like a whole new car. 80% of it looks like a whole new car. I just wanted to pull it out and give you guys a look. Although I don't have my front bumper, you guys get the idea, right? This is how it typically would have looked if you pulled your car out of a paint shop with no moldings or anything on it. Damn. I'm gonna take some pictures and put it back on the driveway. So before I wrap up this video, guys, I want to show you the antenna real quick. The grommet is installed, the screws are secured, the thing is not going anywhere, and like I said, it literally hides all the imperfections. And the only one you're really going to notice is that little tear, but I mean, who's really going to see it back there, right? So the wrap, for the most part of what I have for the car, is done. I remember watching Paradox the Rapper, and he was like saying, don't trust a rapper who has not wrapped his own car. This is definitely my learning curve on my own personal car. My first time wrapping ever. The sedan is going to be one of my personal car in my fleet alongside the KRX, the wagon, and the EF2. Before I even picked up this car, I already knew I was going to respray it the same color, but the wrapping opportunity came first, so I did that. Now the end goal with this car, 8 months, a year from now, the wrap's going to come off and we're going to lay down base coat and clear coat. That's what I want to do to stick to the game plan I had for this car originally. But me taking this opportunity now gives me that, I guess, new skill set of wrapping the car. So as far as the vinyl wrapping goes, we're gonna stop and give it a break from today moving forward. We have dyno in a couple of days, so I'm gonna focus on the mechanicals with the car to make sure it's all good and dandy to get to the dyno. And once the wrap shows up for the roof and the trunk, we'll probably pick back up with that after the dyno day. So we're gonna wrap it up for this video, guys. I hope you enjoy the progress update on the vinyl wrap on both quarter panels to the pillar on the EF sedan. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to leave a thumbs up.